What's up, everyone? Welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. So today we got another exciting new news update from WizKids that basically tells us a lot and nothing at the same time. It's kind of confusing, but so essentially they went over, I'll just have to probably post a screenshot of all this stuff. They basically said like powers now will kind of fall under a few separate categories. One will be like an attack replacement, which I'm assuming is basically going to mean those are going to be the powers that are still going to require a, close combat action, a range combat action to activate and use the power. And then the other category was something like attack improvements, which basically means, from what I can tell, is just going to combo with everything, much like how they showed us the actual change to the powers. Would have been nice if they did that again. But with Close Combat Expert and Range Combat Expert now being just kind of an always on effect that gives you +1 attack and damage for close or range combat respectively, they fall under this attack improvement category. So I can only assume, and I am just assuming things, so don't quote me here, but it looks like all these powers will be just improvements to attacks, as in they won't have to cost an action. You won't have to give them a range action to activate it, and thus not be able to combo it with other things that are a range action. And so there's some pretty awesome combos there, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to improve the combos and make all the powers feel more super, in their own words, which is really awesome. I can totally get behind that. I mean, I know a lot of people struggle with things like, why can't I charge Flurry Blades and Exploit Weakness all at the same time? Well, you can do a lot of that at the same time, just not all of it, but maybe you can do all of it now. So if I had to guess, it seems like these powers will essentially be always on, much like the Close Combat Expert and Range Combat Expert. So, things like Exploit Weakness will probably say something like, when this character makes a close attack, it deals penetrating damage. And for penetrating Psychic Blast, it'll say the same thing, but when it makes a range attack, it'll deal penetrating damage. And then there's things that are pretty interesting on here, like Incapacitate. I can only assume, again, I'm just assuming things here because they didn't actually just give us all the powers, but Incapacitate will apparently combo with everything now, which I can only assume will say that whenever this character hits with an attack, give a hit character an action token or something along those lines. Since they did remove pushing damage from the game, and they did improve willpower to have more chances of, removing tokens from your characters, I feel like Incapacitate took a major nosedive in effectiveness, so I could definitely see this as being how they improve it and keep it useful still. That way, anytime a character hits, it can just add an action token to the hit character. I think that would be definitely a balance for the fact that, nothing's going to take pushing damage from it anyway, and, probably half the characters you're going to be hitting with this are going to have willpower or some leadership figure right next to them. So, they're going to have a couple chances of removing their token anyway. So I don't think adding a token will be too impactful, but the times when it does, if you miss that willpower roll, they're going to have to clear because you just gave them the action token. So I think that's definitely something that they could do without like breaking the power, making it too overpowered. I don't know if it'll still keep the thing where, if it can't get a second action token, do a free penetrating damage instead. We'll have to see how that all plays out. I feel like that might be a little bit much. Like if you hit a character with 2 action tokens, do an additional penetrating damage. That might be a bit much, and I feel like that would cause too many confusion of the rules of timing of things, and they're trying to simplify all that, so I don't think that would be worth it. But anyway, I'll post links in the description so you guys can just read it all yourself. Like I said, they told us a lot of information, and without really telling us anything at the same time. I wish they would have just been more specific and just listed all the powers and how they work now. That would have been awesome. Hopefully they'll do that sooner rather than later. I'm sure they'll get to that, because I honestly just can't wait to see exactly how all these powers are going to combo. They want more combos in the game, so hopefully we'll see tons of crazy power interactions like we've never seen before. Penetrating energy explosion with Incap, with a triple target, or maybe a triple target flurry, because you can do that in close combat now, with like Close Combat Expert and Exploit Weakness, and you know, whatever, Incapacitate and all that. Just punching 3 people at once with +1 attack and damage and giving them all a token. That'd be awesome. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the powers that they showed us. They did give us a few more rules clarifications, which I feel like was kind of the bigger point of this article. Like, they're kind of just teasing us with the powers, and then they're like, okay, here's like a huge breakdown of all this stuff we're gonna do, since it's the frequently asked questions of all these other rules updates. For one thing, they did say a lot of these characters that have things like can use close combat expert at no cost or whatever are gonna get an errata that basically says that they can make a closer range attack, which will be a buff because it'll say probably close or range attack. So that's a nice bit of information, because I know a lot of people are worried about certain characters that say like, you know, when this character hits, it can then use close combat expert as a free action or whatever. And since it's not really an action anymore, you know, how does that work? So they've basically just told us that it'll get an extra attack, which is great news. Definitely a win there. And they also gave us a big breakdown of how a lot of people were wondering, you know, how water terrain was affected by the change to hindering terrain. I know I was definitely interested in how they were going to handle that. And they did not handle it like I thought they were going to. I thought that they would make water terrain kind of more impactful and leave it as is with the old hindering rules. You know, you have to stop when you're going into it. You have to half your movement going through it. And you can see over it fine, like the opposite of normal hindering now. And no, it's just clear terrain for movement purposes. So yeah, apparently everybody's just going to be running around like Naruto, running on top of the water. So that's cool. I don't love it. I think it would have been better to leave it as is. But that's just how it's going to be, so we'll have to see how that plays out. I honestly, though, one of the big changes now, since they're doing that to water, I almost feel like the dolphin symbol is going to be the next thing to get retired. They barely give out the dolphin symbol to anything as it is. Its effectiveness was not even great when they gave it out. I mean, being able to move through water is cool. They don't hardly have that much water terrain on maps anyway. And then they tried to buff it by giving it, you know, if this character's in water, they get +1 defense from range attacks, so it's like normal hindering for them. And I assume that that will still be the case. However, you know, without the improved movement through water terrain part, if everybody can just swim super fast like Namor or Aquaman or something, what's the point? It doesn't really feel special anymore. So that's kind of a downer. It kind of just feels like it's there just to exist for those dolphin characters, and for the special powers that say like when this character is in water, it gets, you know, +2 speed or can use charge, or, you know, there's a million of those types of characters that have some type of special power that say when this character is in water terrain, it can do something else that it can't normally do outside of water. So there's definitely a reason to keep water terrain in the game for special flavor abilities like that. But at the same time, I mean, honestly, I could see it just leaving altogether. I mean, if dolphin symbol has the potential to leave just because they barely use it, then I feel like water would be right behind it. And I don't want that to happen because, you know, there's so many characters like Aquaman and Namor, just to name a few, all the Atlanteans, you know, like Gigantor, the big whale dude or whatever. There's lots of cool water people, and playing a full water map, or, you know, a mostly water map to really get that advantage is just fun. You know, it doesn't really come up a lot. It's not like meta. It's just fun. So I do hope that they leave it in the game for those reasons. And I mean, I'm not saying that they ever said they were going to take it out. I'm just saying that what's the point? They might as well take it out if they're gonna, you know, kind of nerf it down this much. And again, that wouldn't even be a bad thing. Like I said, we barely use it as it is. It's really just fun, and I hope it stays around for like fun thematic reasons. But anyway, that's pretty much my rant on that. They did also address some things about like the telekinesis thing, saying that they're gonna, you know, errata the characters, and the knockback damage too, I believe. They said, you know, characters that specifically mention like object attacks and knockback damage will keep that effect as is, or they will errata it to do some type of effect that will make sense. And like they've said a few times now, they will still give special TKs to people that will still be able to do those things like make object attacks or move opposing characters or whatever. So I'm sure we'll still see that kind of thing on characters. It'll just have to be written out as a special power as opposed to just regular TK. And I'm also assuming the characters that had a specific knockback damage part of their, you know, abilities or powers will still have some type of special power that says something about, like, when this character knocks back, if the knockback path is stopped, deal 1 damage. They did say falling damage would be gone completely, though. So I'm guessing that the changes of, like, you know, if this character hits a wall, it takes 1. If it falls off elevated, it takes 2. They did say that's going to be gone, I believe. So even if we do see characters that say something like, when this character deals knockback, it's penetrating or whatever, it's only going to be 1. It's not going to be able to do 2 anymore, which kind of sucks, but I mean, nothing's going to be able to do knockback, so it's not really that big of a deal. If it has something has a special damage that deals knockback damage, then that's just a win in my book. But yeah, so that's pretty much all they talked about today. Lots of stuff. Again, lots of stuff without really telling us anything. I kind of assumed most of these you know, errata things were gonna be how that was, except for the water train. That one kind of got me off guard. But as far as the comboing of powers, let me know what you guys think about all of that in the comments, because I think it'd get pretty awesome, pretty crazy. And we'll definitely have to take a look at some of our older characters that have, like, a lot of powers that didn't combo, and you're just like, wow, it's cool they have all these options. It would be cooler if they could work together in some way, and now they can. So that's a really cool thing, and I can't wait to see what kind of characters get, like, super overpowered because of it. I know I'm already looking at a couple of them, but again, we'll have to see exactly how it works, because I don't want to assume too many things until we see, like, the actual powers written out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos, and leave a like for me if you enjoyed watching this video. I'd appreciate it. That's going to do it for today. If you guys would like to help support the channel further, you can check the links in the description for the Patreon and see your name here in the credits with all of our other awesome Patreon supporters, as well as some other awesome bonuses, so don't forget to check that out. And until next time, thank you guys again for watching. This has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.